Patterns show up in nature all the time. What most people don't realize is that these patterns also show up in the crypto price action. And today we're going to dive into BNB, and there's a particular pattern that's going to blow your mind, but it's so simple that you're going to kick yourself that you didn't know this sooner. But after today's video, you're going to have a skill set that's going to give you an edge forever going forward. So if you like today's content, like, subscribe, hit the bell notification. Let's dive straight into BNB and check out these patterns. So if you follow my stuff before, you know that I'm a big fan of Elliott waves, one of the best ways of reading the markets. But what most people don't realize is that the markets tend to move in fives and threes. And if you can identify these fives and threes, you can see what's very likely to occur next and then use that information to either buy, sell, or stay out of the market. So with BNB right now, we're on a daily chart. And in yellow, I've drawn out this here. Looks like a very clean 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We've got some horizontal and vertical lines. These are Fibonacci ratios. I'm not going to go into too much detail in that today, but what we're going to do is we're going to dive into this part of the market, because not only does the market tend to break down to 5 waves, the 5 waves, like this wave in itself, tends to break down to 5 waves. And then even this last part tends to break down to 5 waves. And again, Ralph Nelson Elliott figured out that this shows up in nature all the time, but he also figured out it shows up in the markets. Now, obviously, crypto's only been around since 2009, so he was looking at the stocks, commodities, and other markets, foreign exchange. But now crypto, it shows up really, really well. So before we drop down to a lower degree time frame to see these intricate chart patterns that's going to give you such edge on the market, I want to read you a quote from my book. I'm the award-winning author of The Extraordinary Venture Capital Opportunity, How to Invest Like a Pro. My name is Jagir, by the way, if you don't know me by now. And there's a particular thing I want to read because I really want to get this across to you. You know, wisdom, right? Wisdom from people that have come before us. Henry Ford, this one's from Henry Ford. It has been my observation that most people get ahead during the time that others waste. Now, the reason I read this to you today is you can sharpen this one skill that I'm going to show you today. And whilst most people are, I don't know, maybe not active in the markets right now because we're in a bear market right now, you can sharpen this skill so you can get ahead of the market. And by the way, if you want to get my book, you can actually now download it for free in the description link below. You can click on it and you literally just pop in your details and you'll get my book for absolutely free. You'll get some great wisdom from here. I do a lot of stuff on mindset. Mindset's really, really important, especially when it comes to trading. All right, so what we're going to do now is I'm going to drop down to a 60-minute chart, a 1-hour chart. So we're currently on a daily chart, and I'm going to go into a bit more intricate detail. Now, just so you know, I do normally use 4 things, keeping it really simple: momentum, pattern, price, and time. So today we're going to focus on pattern, but we also want to take into consideration that the momentum position tells us that we're likely to be sideways to down for the next few days. Very, very important information, because what we're looking for is a confluence of events. Pattern, what I'm going to show you today, is really powerful, but when you combine it with momentum, Fibonacci price, and Fibonacci time, then you become the casino, because you have a massive edge in your favor that makes it highly probable that you're going to win over a large number of trades, 30, 50, 100, and so on and so forth. So I'm going to pop out of this chart and then go into an hourly chart. And I'm actually going to zoom out on the hourly chart. I want to show you something in particular, right? So the yellow lines that you're seeing, let me just get rid of this. The yellow lines that you're seeing are the same yellow lines that were on the daily chart, right? So what we're looking at is, what I'm going to show you today is, when we see these patterns, we want to pounce on this because it's valuable information that most people cannot see. Is what we said was the market's moving in like a nice 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And it looks like we're coming into that 5. But then we're going to focus on this green section here. You see these green lines? I'm just going to zoom into this part of the market. So it's basically the last part of the yellow, the wave 5 on the yellow, right? That's what we're going to focus on. And what you're going to see, and it's going to fascinate you, and it's going to give you such a big edge on other traders, because most people just cannot see this. Either they don't know it exists, or they just haven't done the training. So we're now going to focus on the green, right? The green. Just think of the green lines, right? This last part of the market, look at this. It's looking like it's breaking down to a very clean 1, 2, a very impulsive wave 3. Wave 3 tends to be the most impulsive. A corrective wave 4, and then a final impulse, right? A final impulse. So what that means in Elliott wave terms, it's called a wave 5 of a wave 5. And you've probably heard the saying, the trend is your friend. Ride it until its end, until it reaches its bend. Well, a wave 5 of a wave 5 is usually the end of a trend. So this has given us a big clue that we should be looking to take profits or looking to short the market. And I'm going to talk about that in a bit more detail. But before we do, let's now zoom in again. You see these red lines? Well, basically, this final part of the green, in terms of this final wave 5 of the green, also tends to break down to 5 waves. Now, around 50 to 60% of the time, the patterns can be pretty clear, especially in the crypto markets. And around 40% of the time, they're not clear. So when they are clear, we're going to use that information. So the price has gone above the previous high, and we're going to now zoom into this part, right, into the red part of this market. I've drawn it in red deliberately so we can really see it and differentiate between it's called different degrees of wave counts. Now in the red, this is live data as of this morning, right? Literally live chart right now. In the red, it looks like we had an initial impulsive move up, it's called a wave 1, and move down, a wave 2, a very impulsive wave 3, a corrective wave 4, and then a final move to the upside of a potential wave 5. Now we don't know if this is going to be the top, but it's looking very likely. So what do we have now? Now, again, these patterns show up in nature all the time, whether it's in seashells, whether it's in your face. But what was really fascinating is it shows up. Actually, it's even like in trees, right? In branches. You'll see the branches go like this, and then they break down to Fibonacci ratios, and they break down to more Fibonacci ratios. What was fascinating to me was Ralph Nelson Elliott figured out that it shows up in mass herd psychology, these frequent patterns of 5s and 3s. What we've got on our hands right now, and you'll see this in many charts, but we're looking at a BNB, is a wave 5 of a wave 5 of a wave 5. So I'm going to show you how you can use this information to maximize your profits if you're long, tighten your stop loss, but also be looking for short positions. By the way, if you would like access to my charts, I'm just going to pop out of this chart. I normally use a 4-screen setup. Top left is weekly chart, top right is my daily, bottom left is my 4-hour, and bottom right is my 1-hour chart. In the description link below, you can actually get my charts for free, my live trading charts for free. Literally, there's quite a few of them. We got Bitcoin, BNB, which is what we're looking at today, Solana, Ethereum Classic, Polygon, Optimism I just added the other day. So yeah, you'll just be able to not only view the chart, but you can actually download it and upload it into your own trading view if you wanted my same settings. So now let's just look at this information. Okay, Jagir, great. This is very interesting, but how the heck do we use this information? How do we use it? So what we're looking for next is something called a pattern reversal signal. In other words, we want the market to show us that it is going to move to the downside. So in other words, I'm looking to short BNB, right? I actually put in an order, canceled the order, but I'm looking at a short trade order, and I'm just going to keep it simple. I'm going to focus on pattern today, right? So I'm just going to zoom out like so. All right. So what should BNB do if the market is going to go reverse over here at the end of a wave 5 and a 5 of a 5? What is the minimum it should do? Well, one of the things it should do is take out a swing low. So this is a pretty clear swing low down here. The price should exceed this swing low. If it's going to continue, it should also take out this swing low and then this swing low down here. But if you wanted to short the market and get in early, well, you can either wait for it's called a pattern reversal signal, is allow the market space to take out a swing low. Ideally, you want to see a price movement bigger than any other form of price movement to the downside. That's called an overbalancing price. And then you can wait for something called a correction and then a continuation to the downside. But today's focus, I want to really emphasize today's focus. And I'm just going to highlight this because I don't want to go into too much detail on the other factors right now. Today's focus is on our hands right now with BNB, but you'll see this with other cryptos as well, is we've got a potential wave 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of a 5 of green, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of a red, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's 3 degrees of pattern recognition of a 5 of a 5 of a 5. That's very significant. That actually lines up with our momentum. There is some Fibonacci price ratios and time ratios that are also telling us this looks like a local top and that we're probably going to get at least a correction, which means a decent 3-wave move to the downside. But potentially, because of previous patterns, is likely or high probability that we may get a new trend to the downside lasting a few weeks, which can be quite exciting if you're shorting the market. But if you're a long BNB, you just want to be aware that we might go through a bit of a correction. Well, when I say a bit of a correction, let me just show you what I mean. What I'm anticipating or prepared for is because the previous moves of BNB, I'm on a 60-minute chart still, is relatively overlapping waves. We don't know if this is going to be a new impulsive sequence, but we should anticipate at least a correction of this degree. But there is a good probability we may see that this low gets exceeded. And there's different ways of managing your position where you can actually plan for both. Last thing I'd like to do before we finish up today, I would like to invite you to my R15 Crypto Gym where we do daily detailed workouts. BNB is one of them. Bitcoin's another, Solana is another. You get a load of goodies. You get an invite to my private Telegram, but you also get daily training in the R15 Crypto Bootcamp, where I'll give you some Elliott Wave and Fibonacci training, and you can actually join for £1 and do a 30-day trial. And if you like it, you can stick with me. I'm going to give you a lot of value, but £1, you get to test it all out. Is in the description link below, and just check out the daily workouts. So we're doing some intricate stuff in terms of entry, exit, high probability stuff, and I think you'll really get a lot of value from it. So if you like today's content, like, subscribe, hit the bell notification. Today was all about pattern recognition as a leading indicator. In other words, we are looking ahead of time of what's likely to occur. So we're not chasing our tails, because most amateurs are 2 steps behind the market. What we're doing is getting 2 steps ahead of the market so we can maximize our entry, maximize our profits if we're long, but also know when to stand aside and let the market tell us what it's likely to do before it does it, and then look for a nice entry. So let's finish on a quote. Quote of the day from my book. Again, remember, you can download this for free. Is in the link below. I'm going to loop because they say repetition is the mother of all skill. Henry Ford: it has been my observation that most people get ahead during the time that others waste. So you have an amazing opportunity, not for only the coming weeks and months, but also years and decades, because we're very early in the crypto game, and this blockchain technology is here to stay. But if you can really learn how to read price action, there's this new utility of this new economy being created, which is digital assets, and you'll be able to have an edge on the market on when to get involved in projects, when to get out of projects, and being able to just read the market depending on what you're looking to do. And even if it's just to give you peace of mind, if you're holding something long term, but it's going through a deep correction, and look, that's just the nature of the game. When there's more sellers than buyers, it goes for a correction. But what follows a correction is a continuation of the former trend, and it just gives you a lot of peace of mind. So join me for tomorrow's workout, £1, 30-day trial, BNB, Bitcoin, and Solana. There's some very nice setups coming up right now. We've been patient for 3, 4, 5 days for these setups, but I go into detail in the workout itself. So hopefully I'll see you in the crypto gym tomorrow.